the Storm, and maybe a 10-point margin.
Okay. Rabbitohs, Panthers there, JT?
Yeah, tough one. The Rabbitohs are missing the Burgess boys and a couple of others, so I think the Panthers, who also showed a bit of improvement, get the lollies there, boys.
And the Eels and the Broncos later on tonight.
Yeah, Broncos got rolled with the Titans last week, and the Eels, they're like a mixed bag of lollies. Put your hand and you don't know what you're going to pull out. So, mate, I don't know. Toss a coin on that one. Well, the Broncos because they're at home.
The Broncos, okay. Yeah, fair enough, eh? Because honestly, it is hard to work out where the Broncos are going to be for at the end of the competition, and it's been such a topsy-turvy sort of season for them, isn't it? Well, more turvy, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely more turvy than topsy. I think there's sort of three distinct groups at the moment. There's a sort of sides that are in the top 5.
Yeah.
Then there's sides that are 6th to about 10th to 11th, and then from 12th onwards, might as well start preparing for next year. So, and both these sides, the Broncos and the Eels, are in that middle group. So, mate, it just depends on who turns up, prepared to play the best. I think we'll get the win, but I think the Broncos just.
Okay, excellent stuff. Excellent stuff indeed. Well, I guess we can talk about, next weekend, I think it's on a Friday, where Tonga come over to play against the Kiwis. You've got to be looking forward to that, AJT?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a grudge match. They beat us and beat us quite convincingly in the World Cup a couple of years back. So, and they deservedly won. So, look, it's a chance for all us proud black and white Kiwi fans to try and get one back against them. And they'll be full of confidence. They've named a pretty strong side, the old times.
They have.
And, as have we. But I just hopefully, because the Red Army's going to turn up to support their team. Hopefully, there'll be a few black and white jumpers in the crowd as well.
What do you reckon of that game that's coming up, Ra?
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be, a grudge match for the Kiwis. Keithy, I think they may be too strong this time around. I think, that they know what it's like to kind of be on that losing end, especially against Tonga, a team that they used to just sort of roll over in many years gone past. But they won't be taking the Reds for granted this time around. I think they'll have their game wits about them. But one thing I like about this clash is just the overwhelming support from the Tongan Red Army. Their supporters come out like they're some of the best supporters I've ever seen for the game, and it's fantastic to see. But I just hope that doesn't count against our boys, the Kiwis. But no, I think we're going to be too strong. And I mean, in the literal sense, they're going to go out there and thrash Tonga. But I think they will definitely come away with a win. But there's going to be some big hits, Keithy. That's why we like watching these games. Our Polynesian cousins, they'll be turning up, and if they don't lose, they're going to sort of damage a few Kiwi bodies in the process.
I think last year, AJT, the Kiwis certainly didn't take Tonga lightly in their preparation, in the lead up to that game. And that's my opinion. They just weren't good enough to beat them. Well, what do you reckon?
Yeah, on the day we just weren't good enough. And, we had a lot of defections in that World Cup. A lot of the boys went and played for Tonga and Samoa, as they're entitled to do, so, fair enough. And then last year, Tonga played Australia, they weren't good enough in that game. So that's sort of, and New Zealand had beaten Australia the week before. So, look, I think with the new regime under Madge Maguire, I do think we'll go into this as favourites, but Ra touched on the crowd support that they get, and that could be a
telling factor,
a defining factor. So, look, hopefully, all the Kiwi supporters, all the ones that are true to our cause are there, with their jerseys on and they're in full voice, because we're going to need to, because definitely, Tonga will have a lot of supporters turn up to that game, and let's just hope that our boys can concentrate, focus, and get the job done. We've got a good side there, as have they, but I just think, I hope more than anything that we can get the job done.
Yes, absolutely. If there are any weaknesses, where would it be? Maybe the halves, perhaps, for Tonga?
Yeah, so they've named Tawhiwhirangi Lolo here, ex-Warrior, as one of the halves. I'm unsure who the other half will be. Maybe John Asiata from the Cowboys.
Yes.
But, no specialist halfback as such. Lolo here, like I touched on a mixed bag of lollies earlier, with it, you don't know what you're going to get with him either. He's a good footballer, but I think his best position is out wider at fullback on the week, and I don't think he's got the game management to drive a side around the paddock.
Yeah.
especially, a big game like this. And I think that's where we could have the edge over the forwards cancel each other out, as do most of the other backs. But certainly in the halves, Tonga haven't named a specialist halfback.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, well, I wouldn't say we're overly light in the halves ourselves. I mean, with experienced guys like Foran and also Sean Johnson coming back into the fold, eh?
Yeah, adding to that, Marshall and Nikorima. So we got some good halves there. Little, just be a matter of getting those combinations sorted out. They've got a week to do that before the game. And, look, I think that's definitely a stronger part of our game in terms of the Kiwi side that we have over the Tongans as the halves. Yeah. That could be where we, get the win.
Yeah. So you must be also looking forward to that game, Ra. Hopefully the boys should be able to get a bit of redemption, you reckon?
Well, we'd like to see their Keithy, but look, on the other side of the coin, I'd like to say, then it's good for minnows, so-called minnows like Tonga and them, to, secure wins against the top so-called flight teams of rugby league, even though as much as it pains us and, sort of hurts me to say it. But for the sport in general, it's good to see those little countries come through and, sort of put the boot into us literally on the scoreboard and on the field. But when I looked at their team on paper, the Kiwi side, they've got quite a well-balanced unit there. So I hope, that wealth of experience and youth sort of comes to the fore because, that's where it matters. It doesn't matter who you play for, where you come from, how great you are. It all sort of, it's on the day and it's on the field. So if they can play together instead of like how they had patchy performances in the past, I think they'll just dominate Tonga. But I keep referring to those big hits there, our Polynesian cousins, Keithy. They're not going to just sort of let them stroll over the line. They're going to be, doing those wonderful sort of shoulderless tackles, and why we like watching the physical attributes and nature of the game. It's going to be a cracker. I hope they turn on a spectacle for all the fans, not just the millions of Tongan fans that'll be there in support, but all the Kiwis sort of. Sitting back watching, but no, my money's on the Kiwi boys.
Yeah. Last year, JT, I'll be honest, I mean, I wasn't overly shocked that Tonga were able to beat New Zealand in the World Cup. What really shocked me, though, was when they got beaten by Fiji. I didn't think that could happen at all. But it did, to the shock of most New Zealand supporters. Hey.
Yeah, and that's still hurts the embarrassment, which the way the house folded was like a house of cards. They just didn't look interested in the Fijians. Big ups to them. They were good enough to get the job done on the day. And mate, that was embarrassing. That was totally embarrassing. And no disrespect to the Fijian brothers out there because, they also put forward a good side and almost, in the past have been quarter-finalists.
Yeah.
Semi-finalists, in fact, and they deserve to win on the day. So it's all about restoring some pride and some mana back in that jersey, which they did a little bit last year when we beat Australia.
Yeah.
In that one-off match. So look, hopefully that continues. And Michael Wagai is a good coach. He's won a premiership at South Sydney, so he worked under Craig Mallaby for a few years. And look, hopefully he can restore some of that integrity into our jersey and get some of those disillusioned supporters to get their bums on some seats whenever the boys are playing.
Absolutely. Anyway, on that note, we go to a break. We'll be back with more Full-Time right after this. Turanga FM. On behalf of the Full-Timers, I would just like to say big thanks to Joachim Currid, who brings us our music intro. Check him out on joachimcurrid.com. He's also on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, Instagram, and follow him on Facebook. Another big thanks goes out to Silent Partner, who brings us our outro. Check out their music on YouTube. And also thanks must go to the Polish Ambassador for the backing music for this promo. Check out the Polish Ambassador on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Beatport, Instagram, Twitter, and on his website, thepolishambassador.com.
You're listening to a podcast produced by Tawhiwhirangi FM, #1 iwi radio station in Aotearoa. We play each full-time session on Tūrangi FM Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. You can listen in live on our Tūrangi FM media page. Just click the main Tūrangi FM logo to tune in online. Or if you're in the Gisborne area, we're on the radio frequencies 91.7, 95.7 and 98.1. Also check out the Fulltime Facebook page where you can listen to the podcast again. Make comments and click links that will lead you to other ways to listen to the podcast, such as Spreaker, iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, Podchaser and Tumblr. Right, let's get back to the Fools on Fulltime.
Welcome along to our second session here on Fulltime. Want to send a shout out also once again going out to our sponsors, Racecrack Motors. They're down there on Grey Street. Go and check them out. Also want to send a big happy birthday going out to Jenny Rangihuna. Koka Jenny from Kimihia Kohangareo. Big happy birthday going out to you. Right, we get into our next session here. I guess talking about rugby, of course, your Highlanders ending off their season on a big win against the Waratahs there, eh, Ra?
Well, yeah, Casey. I mean, like my other team, the Chiefs, they had that mathematical kind of equation to do to try and make the playoffs, but you know, some teams have just left it a little bit too late. And but hey, in saying that, we'll take the victory. A good one for the men from down south there.
Yep.
But as I say, I think it's time to prepare for 2020.
Yes, indeed. As it is with the Chiefs too, they had a couple of extra weeks in order to prepare, I suppose, because they knew that their season was done. But they came away with quite a big win against the Rebels last night as well, over there in Aussie. So both of your teams at least end off their season with big wins, eh?
Yeah, but, as you know, too little, too late. There was just too much going against both teams and a lot of teams in their position. Like, they had to sort of wait for the results of the other sides, and it gets a little bit messy. And, they've only got themselves to blame for not starting, well from scratch, which is the name of the game in any sport, I believe. If you can set the foundation earlier on in the seasons, and it just makes it kind of easier for your stride to the top. So if any other losses or any issues happen during mid-season onwards, at least you've sort of, got a few scalps or a few wins under your belt. But sadly, my two teams back to the drawing board. But, not all lost for New Zealand sides. As we know, I think the Crusaders are definitely the big favourites again to take the title. I'm sure Reno will be happy. Not too sure about your Hurricanes there. They've got the as well as the Blues, eh?
No, they're in. The Hurricanes are definitely in.
Oh, okay.
There's no doubt about it. They're on the points table. They're above every other team except the Crusaders. So they've got to be in. Surely that's how the table works.
You put a line through the Hurricanes. You just killed them, Keith. Well done.
No, well, they're certainly in. They should be in. I mean, I can't see how they could not be in.
So we've got definitely there should be.
Well, I hope because I hope the Blues can sort of topple them just end this season.
Topple them? What do you mean topple them? Oh, today you mean? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. What? So that they can get a little bit of pride. Okay. Well, the Chiefs were never going to get... well, to be honest, though, the Highlanders did a real big favour for somebody else because by beating the Rebels in such a bad way, because the Rebels actually had a chance of getting into the playoffs. Well, getting smashed by the Chiefs last night in a big way obviously meant that their season's done. So at least we can say thanks to the Chiefs for that. Who would get in? Maybe the Bulls. Yeah, probably the Bulls.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be the Bulls.
I'll tell you either way, as I mentioned earlier, once you leave it to mathematical equations, no matter what team you support, then it starts to get a little bit